Thank you for considering ProTempus for your office automation needs. This demo comes preloaded with test data. Once you are done using the test data, there is a function that will purge the test data prior to loading your live clients into ProTempus. This will be covered at the end of this video. To restart ProTempus, double-click on the desktop icon. First, we will log on with the username of staff. This allows us to show you how ProTempus works in an office with multiple timekeepers. We can see the user list window has multiple timekeepers. You can view any timekeeper's calendar by clicking on that username. This would also allow you to schedule and view calendar events for any timekeeper. Ask yourself, how many phone calls do I get each day that never get billed because it is a hassle to track and bill these calls? Are you tired of practicing law pro bono over the phone? ProTempus will solve this problem by making it simple to track and bill these calls. It makes it easy to track and bill every minute you spend working on a client's case. When you call a client or receive a phone call from a client, click on the telephone on the ProTempus toolbar. You will see ProTempus automatically starts the stopwatch. The client list is displayed and we select the client from the list. In this case, we are talking to John Decker, so we will click on his name. This starts a billable event. You can see John has 3 cases. He had a bankruptcy last year which is now closed. This probably triggered his current divorce and DUI cases. This phone call pertains to the divorce, so we will select the divorce. ProTempus pulls the current billing rate that was set up when we set up that case. Each case can have a different billing rate and billing type. ProTempus supports hourly, flat rate, contingency, and unit billing. Once the phone call is complete, we enter a brief description about what was discussed during the phone call and check Billable, which will stop the stopwatch and update the accumulated time. ProTempus will bump the billable time to the next 1/10 of an hour and calculate the total charge. ProTempus users have discovered that clients tend to pay better when they see adequate detail on their invoices. When John sees the description on his invoice, he will probably recall the phone call and not question whether it is a legitimate charge. To save this event, we will click the Save button. You will notice this phone call now appears on your calendar in green. When you click an item as billable, it will turn green on your screen. Our philosophy is very simple. The more green on your screen, the more green in your pocket. You will see the Yates meeting is still white. To bill a scheduled event on your calendar, click on the event, which will pull up the event. We can add additional detail about the meeting, which will be displayed on the invoice. Let's assume the 1.5-hour meeting turned into a 2-hour meeting. We can override the clock time by entering the accumulated time and clicking Billable. When we save that event, you now see we have more green on the screen. The next time we run invoices, that item will appear on his invoice. Normally, you will create invoices on a monthly cycle. ProTempus makes it very easy to create an ad hoc invoice. Let's assume John Decker wants to pay his bill today and has asked for an invoice. To create his invoice, we click on one of the events on the calendar. We then click on the View Print button on the toolbar. By clicking on the View or the Print button, ProTempus will create the invoice. We are using the View option here to show you can see the invoice. ProTempus provides several options on emailing invoices to a client. If John wants us to email this invoice, one of those options is to use the Acrobat Reader feature to attach this PDF to an email. To post John's payment into ProTempus, we pull up John's contact record by clicking on the Contact button on the toolbar, then entering the first 3 characters of his last name. We then select him from the short list. Once we have John's contact record, we click on the Activity Payments button. We then enter the amount of the check and the client's check number. We click on the Auto Select button to pay the oldest invoice first, and then click on Save. Clicking on the Done button takes us back to John's contact record. Once you have pulled up a client's contact record, you can quickly review everything about the client and his cases. If we click on the Documents button, it will show every document that has been created for this client. If we click on the Activity Payment button, we can view all activities and tasks for this client. The By Date option shows items in reverse chronological order. Any future scheduled items are at the top, with the oldest history being at the bottom. We can review payments, any uninvoiced activity, all invoices, or case-related expenses with just a click of the mouse. ProTempus has many features which we will not cover in this video. If you are interested in learning more of the advanced features, click on the question mark on the toolbar. This will link you to the video training section of our website. We will continue to add and update videos as we add new features. Once you are done using the test data to learn ProTempus, You can purge the test data by clicking on the Miscellaneous button on the toolbar. Type the command Delete Demo Data into the Special Commands field, and then click on the Execute button. You are now ready to enter your live clients and cases into ProTempus and start making green. We would like to cover one last thing in this session: adding clients and cases to your ProTempus. To add a new client, click on the Contacts button. If the client is a company, click on Company. You then start typing the client's last name or the company's name. Let's say the new client is Tom Shade. As we type the last name, ProTempus will perform a quick conflict check and display any client that starts with the first 3 characters entered. It will display the short list if there are any contacts that start with the same first 3 letters. You will see it has displayed Ron Shaw, your ProTempus contact. As we continue to type Tom's last name, ProTempus will determine we are creating a new contact and the short list will disappear. At that point, we will complete as much information as possible. You can add additional information at any point in time. You should at least enter the client's name and phone number. You will see multiple detail buttons on the contact window. In ProTempus, the detail buttons indicate there is more detail once you click on that button. If Tom is more than one phone number, we can click on the detail button at the end of the phone number. You can see we have space for a cell phone, a business number, and more. You can also add Tom's email address on this window. Once we have added as much information as we can on the contact window, we need to create a case. To create a case, click on the Case Parties button. Then click on Create New Case. Enter a billing code. This can be any 15 characters that describe the type of case. For example, we will enter Dom Rel here for domestic relations. We will next select the billing type. It may be hourly, flat rate, unit billing, or a contingency case. We will then enter the billing rate with no punctuation. Enter the hourly rate for hourly cases. Those 3 items are the minimum information required for this screen. There are many other data items here which will trigger advanced features in ProTempus. Those will be covered in additional training sessions. Once you have created a client and a case, you are ready to track and bill your time for this client. This concludes this training session. Thank you.